Man, that is pretty good. That is pretty good. Oh, yo, welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. In today's video, as part of my build series where I build up my specialized LA Sprint, we are almost done with this build. So we've adjusted our front and rear derailleurs, so shifting is pretty good. All that's left is for us to torque down the bolts, cut some cables, adjust the brakes, get some new tires on our wheels. Once we do all of that, we'll finally be able to get this bike on the trainer so that we can dial in our bike fit. So let's get started. Oh, and before you even ask, yes, there is whiskey in my mug. All right, let's take a look at what the shifting is like currently here. All right, not bad. Let's go back down. Woof! Listen to that hub. One thing I forgot to mention during the installation of the front derailleur is the derailleur comes with this contact plate that presses up against the frame itself. Inside of the derailleur, there is a 2mm bolt that we're gonna adjust, and as we adjust it, it's gonna make its way out and past the derailleur from behind and will make contact with this plate. And what this does is it provides us with another level of torque when we're making our shifts with the front derailleur. So let's go ahead and get this installed. We'll adjust our 2mm bolt and we'll go from there. Oh, and the sticker that comes with the front derailleur acts as a guide for you to properly set the height of the front derailleur. So right here, you see this little clear strip here. This is where you adjust the height of the derailleur so that the teeth of the crankset essentially falls right there in that clear line. And what this does overall is it allows for proper and clean shifting while preventing the teeth from rubbing on either of the insides of the front derailleur. All right, this is kind of janky, but hopefully you can see the contact plate installed against the frame, and just to the right of it is that 2mm bolt I was telling you guys about that is pushing up against that plate, and it's providing extra torque to the front derailleur during shifting. Now that our gears have been indexed and our shifting is good, we can go ahead and cut these cables and then crimp them with an end cap. So today we are using our Park tool, cable cutter, and end cap crimper. I'm gonna cut this. I'm probably gonna leave a little bit more than I would typically would, but this will just give us a little bit of extra leeway just in case we need to make some adjustments later. Cut that like so. Let's cut it just a little bit more. So with the end cap goes on over the cable, and this prevents the cables from fraying. And then once it's installed, we will crimp it down with the crimper part of our cable cutting tool. Alrighty, now that cable has been crimped. Let's do the one for the front derailleur. Same process as before. We're going to cut this with our cable cutter, and then we will crimp the end of it. Alrighty, add our end cap. Actually, I'm going to take the rear wheel off. Wheel is off, our end cap is on, and now we can go ahead and crimp it down. Alrighty, let's continue. Next on the agenda is installing these brand new Wolfpack cotton gumwall tires on our Yoeleo wheels. Now, the brand Wolfpack was started by a gentleman named Wolfgang Orenz, who is the mastermind behind the special turbo cotton as well as the continental black chili compound. So Wolfgang took his 25 years of experience and started his own brand, which is pretty cool if you ask me. So what we want to do is we want to get these new tires on the wheels so that we can go from this to this. Looking good, looking good. Man, if only installing tires was that easy every time. Let's continue. All right, guys, now the final thing we have to do before we wrap up this video is adjust our brake calipers. One thing I do want to point out is the stock brake pads that come on the Ultegra R8000 aren't exactly suitable for carbon rims, but that's okay. For right now, this is just for presentation. We can get those pads swapped out, adjust our towing, all of that. But for right now, we're just focusing on the calipers. And so the tool that we're using is this Park Tool BT2 cable stretcher. And this thing is great because what it does is it allows us to lock our brake calipers in place by keeping the cable tight, essentially giving us an extra set of hands. And so by freeing up our hands, we're now able to adjust the locking bolt and clamp for the cable. Now this job, of course, can be done without using this tool, but it does make the job that much easier. And the process for adjusting the calipers in the front is exactly the same on the back. And then once we're finished with all this, we can go ahead and cut our cables and then finish it off by crimping an end cap. So let's get started. Alrighty, so let's go. We'll put on our tool here. Get this stretched out a little bit, like that in place. Tighten our clamp using a 4mm Allen key. Perfect. Looking good. So now that that is completed, we can go ahead and cut our cables and finish it off with a crimping cap. All right, done and done. So that wraps it up for this video, guys. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them down below, and I will check you guys on the next build video. Thanks for watching. Peace.